Greetings, I'm Stanley Young for the American Dream. We're here from our guest in just a moment. And welcome again to the American Dream. I'm your host, Stanley Young. Today we have in the house the Boys and Girls Club, Glassboro and Paulsboro combined today in the studio. Let's give a shout out for Paulsboro and Glassboro, Boys and Girls Club. Yeah, in the house. And I'm just going to go around the table a little bit and let everybody introduce him because we have a special guest. He's a return guest, actually, in the studio. And I'll let him introduce himself in a moment. But we're going to start to my right, and we have... come on, move over to the microphone and then speak in it very clear, as close as you possibly can.
Zinga Rothmiller.
And Zinga, a little bit about yourself before we start.
I am the Gloucester County Youth of the Year, and I competed at states, and now I come onto the radio almost every week, and I love it.
Go ahead. And then our special guest is sitting right next to her. You don't have to touch that, just roll over. Come on, roll over. You're going to talk right directly into it.
Wicks, and I'm 16.
And a little bit about yourself.
I am the founder and director of a non-profit, and I am an author of a children's book.
There you go. Coach Carlton, see you.
Yep, I'm here. That's all.
Yeah, Carlton, okay. Yep. And then we have over here.
Triana.
Yeah.
And I'm 13.
And?
Well, I don't think. Alright, I'm going to Paulsboro High School, and I'm a Christian.
That's all you want to say?
Mm-hmm.
Probably you want to say something? No, you just hang out with us, though. It's cool. I like it. All right, everybody here is kind of introducing themselves. We do have some folks. I don't recall all the names. And there's Manny out there, and there's Will over here, and then there's Justina. Of course, out there in Radio Land, I don't really see all these faces, but we have the place like loaded up with kids. Post-production studio out in the lobby and stuff like that. We have a few shout-outs out there. Miss Chrissy, Miss Chrissy's out there, doing her thing, along with Jasmine and White, our counselors. And we're doing a good thing. Now, I'm going to just shift over to the American Dream and see what we have going on. All right? Triana's got
You can't nod. You can't nod. You can't say yes.
Carlton's saying we're not on TV, so you really have to speak up so people understand. But I want to start with you because this is your first time on the air, correct? First time?
Yes.
All right. Tell us what your American Dream is.
To basically, graduate high school and to, be like a millionaire.
Graduate high school, be a millionaire. I like the way you travel. Hey, hey, I'm going straight for it. There you go. Carlton, you going to go again, or?
What she said, but also help people and, do a bunch of work in between there, So
Okay.
That's my retirement, I guess.
Okay. So you want to talk about your American Dream?
Probably just not just being known for one specific thing. I want a bunch of stuff under my name and being rich.
Okay. I think you're rich already. Zinga.
My American dream is just, honestly, to be happy. To be able to look in the mirror and be happy with what I see. Because I see all these millionaires that can't look themselves in the mirror because they don't like what they see, and I don't want to be that person. Of course, I want to be rich and graduate high school and go to Harvard, but all that doesn't matter if I'm not happy.
That's a wow. There's a lot of folks out there who have money, and it's really sometimes it seems like they're a little better off than people that are poor sometimes. But that's unfortunate. Okay, because you talked about the type of people, I want to start to go there. Looking at young people today, I realize, at least I feel, and you talked about it a lot, Zinga, that the young people today have a responsibility today to perform and behave a certain way. In your speech you did for the Youth of the Year, you talked about now. Do you want to talk about that a little bit, and maybe we can get the other youth to chime into that?
So, the reason that I use now in my speech a lot is because I see that kids are using an excuse all the time to try to procrastinate doing things, whether that's schoolwork or achieving their dream. When I go to Camden or whatever, people use their struggles as an excuse to say that's why I'm doing bad in school or that's why I'm misbehaving. And I don't think that people should use their struggles as weights. I think they should use them as wings to pull them up out of whatever they're struggling in. And I think they should use their struggles as motivation instead of an excuse to do bad or do wrong. They think that it's okay to do it just because they went through things. Everybody goes through things, and some people choose to use it as incentive to do better, and others choose to use it as a reason to not do better. And I think that people should never choose the latter, because you always want to succeed in life despite everything that you've gone through. So I don't think that people should wait to do anything. I think that everything should be done in the moment, and people shouldn't want to procrastinate their dreams or what's going on in their life, because you never know when you're going to get an opportunity to do something like that ever again.
Well said. Any comments? You want to say anything? No? Well, I'm going to jump in on it because, I'm around a lot of young people, and it seems like one of the most, I don't want to call it difficult, it's not a difficult thing. In my mind, I think for adults, I think we just have to have enough patience. And I define patience as love. In other words, you love children, you want to see them develop and be successful. But when you have like a society like we have today, when there's so much media and so many different things going on that are not positive, I mean, how do young people get through that? I mean, we have a bunch of kids in the Boys and Girls Club that are, have a lot of potential, a lot of talent to do things, but you can tell there's influences to not do that. How do they get around it? I mean, how are they able to pull themselves up and go beyond the norm, what their peers are doing that's not positive?
Well, I just think, from personal experience, I know that I am a very strong person because I've been through a lot. People say things to me every day that aren't the nicest, but I don't get depressed. I'm not a sad person. I'm very happy and upbeat because I don't use their negativity against me. Like, I don't let that get to me because I know who I am and I know who I want to be. So if I let other people try to say who I am or who I want to be, who really would I be? I wouldn't be my own person. I would be someone who is influenced by everyone else and everything that's going on around them, and that's not who I want to be. That's not who I am. It's never who I was. So I think that people or kids should just let their dreams guide them instead of letting everybody else's opinions guide them, because it'll turn out to be a completely different experience.
Go ahead, Carlton.
Speaking to what both of you said, I think, Stanley, you're talking about a lot of the distractions online and things that the kids have to face these days, and you were talking about how in the real world, people who are from, like, say, poorer backgrounds or things like that, they have to deal with these distractions, in the real world, or bullying, or whatever the case may be. And I think one of the things that really separates mature individuals from perhaps not there yet is the ability to isolate oneself from these distractions and really focus on the things that you need to be focusing on and the positive in every situation that you probably always can be found. So.
Well, I know that to be true. I think, me personally, I feel that the Boys and Girls Club is a place like that where you can come and safe. Yeah. And if you have good programs and stuff like that, you should take advantage of it. But it's in those kind of situations that I think is the most how would I say it, vulnerable situation, because the kids are left to be they're in a safe place and they have some freedom to do things. But yet at the same time, they still have to break a pattern because they leave the club and go back right out to where they are again. Triana, what do you think? I mean, how do you handle it? I mean, you seem like you're pretty good at your goals, or you stay focused. I mean, how do you stay focused so much?
Well, I just try to, I can't think of the word right now. I try to ignore, the distractions or the negativity of, what people have to say about me. Or, even when I've been through, how can I say that word right? But even when I've been through, losses or anything, I try to, stay strong and, just, I basically, everything happened because of God. That's what I feel like. Yeah.
But you've been pretty consistent in how you do things, and I do admire that, because, when I step back and I want to look at, okay, you need to get some things done. Who could I rely on? And that's why I say you never know who's watching or how people are watching you. You want to go with the people that you know you can rely on. And that's not always like a blatant thing, but the little things that you do, they start to add up. And it could be, in your case, they're very positive things, very constructive things. So it's adding up in my mind as, wow, this is a person I know that we can probably rely on for this, this, and this. Where another person might be consistent and doing things where they're always getting told, to slow down, to step it up, or, you're causing a problem. And that reputation stays with that person, so you don't pick them for certain things. And that seems to be the challenge that young people have, is understanding that their behavior in the long run is going to add up to how people see you.
Yeah.
And you're going to have either opportunities or no opportunities based on that.
And a lot of behavior is developed when you're either alone or in a comfortable environment with friends, and you just have to know, be aware of what you're doing.
Absolutely. You want to say anything?
Yeah, something to say about that. I see a lot of people, like in my school, so easily influenced by like their friends, because there's always like the people in the group that have like different roles. There's like the funny one, the reasonable one, stuff like that. So people get so used to being put in that role that they think that they become a person that they're not. And they rely so much on others because they're so used to playing that role that when they get by themselves, they don't know what to do. They're uncomfortable. Like, I'm very comfortable with being by myself because I'm the same person by myself and I'm the same person with my friends. Like, other people don't know who they are, and they just are so used to being around people and people feeding into whatever they're doing that when they're alone, they get so like anxious and they don't know what to do because they don't know who they are, honestly. And I think that is so sad. And I think that people recognize that, and they've become so accustomed to the idea of being surrounded by others and playing this role that they don't feel the need to change. So I think that once people recognize it, instead of ignoring it and going on the same way that you're living your life, I think that people should see that and want to change. And I think that people like me and Sadiq and Trayana, I'm so sorry. Trayana, I think that people like us can be the ones to help them through that, because I've been through that, and I would love to help other teenagers that were like me.
It's funny, because that's kind of the answer I was looking for. Because I know as an adult, it's kind of like, okay, I have my heart into everything that I do, no matter what it is, but especially when it comes to young people. But it takes a young person to really make an impact on a young person. And I really rely on that heavily, and especially in the Boys and Girls Club, but everywhere. I mean, I work with a lot of young people, and you can see the dynamics change when you have that one core group or that one special person that can actually stand up to everybody. Not so much stand up in a bad way, but to rise up and be that person and to show, look, this is okay to do. But on the other hand, you have maybe people as strong as that are not necessarily stepping up to pull them up, and may even pull them down. You know what I'm saying? These strong personalities are, even as adults, we have strong personalities that come in and wreck a room. But as young people, though, I think it's a little bit more important to understand, because those behaviors do become habits, and habits again turn into a reputation, and before you know, you're like stuck in a corner somewhere, and nobody's actually reaching out. You have a nice circle of friends, right?
Yes.
Do you have those strong personalities, or is everybody's cool?
It's like so. Like, I don't know. Like, sometimes your friends are, like, the people that you think are your friends are not really your friends. So, yeah, it's like so.
Mm-hmm. I hear a lot of that more, I think, than I want to from young people. Like, the whole thing of who's a real friend kind of thing. And I know with me, again, I don't know how it relates, but I always considered the friend the one that, sees you falling off, the side of the mountain. They come, oh, look, you got to get back up. Don't quit now. That's how I look at the friends, when I was young, and even now. It's like the ones that continue to reinforce you and try to make you stronger, as opposed to the ones that always kind of tugging at you. And I know that can be very deceptive. You get that, hey, we're great, we're good, you run out of money or there's no more snacks. And all of a sudden they turn on you. Wait a minute, I thought that was your friend. Is that kind of what you guys are dealing with? I mean,
Well, I mean, I have a core group of friends and I've been friends with them since like 6th grade. If you're listening, you know who you are. And I feel like my friends, they compliment me. They don't bring me down in any way. Like, they're not negative people. They're all super different, but I feel like we fit together like a puzzle because you have to be different in order to come together as one. And with my friends, like, if I were to text one of them like, ugh, homework sucks right now, I don't feel like doing it, they wouldn't text me like, yeah, bro, I feel the same way. They would say, no, like, go do your homework because it's going to pay off in the long run. That's the kind of role that they have in my life, and that's why I stay with them, because I know that what they're doing for me and what I'm doing for them, and it's a very healthy relationship, and I feel like, and I recognize that it's healthy, the same way people recognize when friendships are unhealthy, which is why people recognize fake friends or fake people or stuff like that. People even recognize when they're fake. So I feel like if more people were to find that core group of friends, they would just be better, because my friends make me a better person. And you could have a group of friends that make you a worse person, and people know that. So I think once you find that core group of people, you're set. And even if that core person is yourself, you're set. Because as long as you can be comfortable with the people you're around and who you are, I think that you're fine.
okay, Colin.
Well, just adding on to that, I definitely think quality of friend is far more important than quantity. And now you have, if you inject social media into things, you have, they call it friends, but you're basically just clicking random people's profiles, some people at least, are trying to just get it's like a score count or something, as opposed to actual quality people. So, anyway.
A big point, and I want to wrap up with this one, is you talked about going back and actually helping those who needed the help. And I'm a big fan of the Boys and Girls Club, no doubt about it. And I really do think that the young people that come into the club have the potential. I think that's why they're there. I think they're there because they know they're safe and they can do things. And I kind of look at you guys, young ladies and gentlemen, as the core group to be able to come in and knowing that you're in that environment, really give it your all to help everybody come up within the organization. I mean, how do you feel about the club in that regard, Shreya?
I think it's like good.
Okay. And that says a lot, the way you said that. You?
I'm gonna be honest. When I come to the club, besides Woodbury Club, like the Woodbury Club, Sophia, Griffin, Malachi, they're like my family because I've just known them for so long. But I know when I go to Paulsboro, I sit down and I read, and I don't really talk to anybody because nobody pushes me, and I'm not really the type to approach people. So I'm usually by myself most of the time, which is fine with me. But if they're trying to give off the message that everybody's friends and stuff like that, and there's nobody left out, then that's not exactly true. I love everybody at the club, even if I don't talk to them a lot. I care about everyone, and I think that everybody at the club is great people. I just don't happen to talk to them all the time, and that's okay. But I think that it's a great vibe. Everyone is having fun, but we know when to work. I don't think everybody necessarily has to be friends for it to also be a good, inspirational group of people. So I think that even though everyone may not click and there might not be everyone with somebody at all times, I think that that's fine as long as there's no negativity and it's all positive and lighthearted and stuff like that. And I feel that way every time I'm in the club. So that's fine, opposed to me just being with a core group of friends in the club every day.
Right. No, I kind of get that. I don't think it's meant to be that. And, I think about the core values of the club, which I have to be very mindful of, and the whole character building and, sticking with the academics and making sure everybody reaches their fullest potential kind of thing. I think for me, it's more important. I would like to see it be as important to everyone, not just Boys and Girls Club members. I look at the Boys and Girls Club members, you guys, as kind of the pioneers, the ones that go out into the field, into the communities, to pull the other ones in. That's kind of how I see it. Some group of organized kids should be able to take that responsibility on. And that means you're going to have a lot of flexibility and have an open heart and be willing to work with the kids that really need the help. I know. But anyway, I'm going to take a break at this point and let our engineer kind of do his job. We'll be back after this.
Welcome back to the American Dream, and I present to you Beyond the Barriers with Stanley Up.
Whether you're raising a family, advancing a career, building a business on a mission from God, victory lies beyond the barriers. There are aspects of life that are absolute in their actions. We prove this every day as individuals and as groups. These absolutes of life's activity have been demonstrated from individual birth to one's current position in a life experience. There are reasons for understanding and accepting the absolutes of life. For the individual, it means a definite purpose or reason to exist. This also means that we exist as part of a plan of supreme quality, a divine plan of action. Understand that the divine plan of action is to heighten the inner qualities that lay hidden within each life stream. These inner qualities are the expression and expansion of the source of all life, the great manifestations of creation. Turning the attention to the absolutes of life, we find revealed to us the universal laws that govern all activity, visible and invisible, physical and transcendent. We know all action causes a reaction. When we breathe in naturally, and we exhale, creating a full action of activity. Breathing is an absolute activity of life. Having the strength, the courage, the power to move forward steadily through all experiences, whatever they may be, and to remain joyous and uplifted, filled with peace and harmony at all times, by the glorious presence which I am.
Are we on air?
The 23rd Principle of Liberty states, a free society cannot survive as a republic without a broad program of general education.
And that concludes the American Dream. I'd like to thank our listeners for sharing your time and attention. I'd like to thank the wonderful, 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 wonderful people that came in today. Yeah, Boys and Girls Club plus Sadiq Wicks. You're kind of a pseudo member now, you know that. Anybody want to give any shout outs before we take off from the air? Come on,
Shout out to Travis Wolf, who I know is listening at the moment.
Oh,
from,
yeah.
From LA or something.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead, Zinga.
Shout out to my mom. I know she's listening right now. Love you, Mom.
Oh, cool. Sadiq, you got to do is, come on, man.
He's probably not listening, but hi, Dad.
Okay, trying to. Poppy, come on, say something.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Happy birthday.
Hi, Pop.
I'm going to give a shout out to Lowe's, who's been actually helping us out a little bit at the club, and then we'll be seeing them next week. And it's nice to have people in the community represent the community and giving their support. Other than that, I'm going to say hello and thank you to Derek Jones, who's always been a big help with all the young people, and you handled them well today. Those out there, the Boys and Girls Club, in the hallway out there, in the foyer, wherever you are, same thing. Gloucester County Boys and Girls Club, the Boys and Girls of Gloucester County, same thing. Love you all. Carlton, you can wrap it up from here.
All right, well, this has been the American Dream on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM. As always, have a great week, everyone.
Okay.
Oh my god, that awkward silence was so bad. I usually have headphones. I usually
I was messing with him, and everybody else got into it. You thought we're not on the air.
I thought like you were trying to.